early. You're gonna get the meat because we have to move on. Okay. First of all, let's talk about the Jussie Smollett case, or I don't know what you will refer to that, a scandal or a hate crime, whatever it is. But the reason I'm going to have this discussion is to talk about, it's a hot topic right now. There's a lot of things that are happening with that, and also part of the reasons why I would like to have this is to look at the motive, like what motivate Jussie Smollett to do something like that, and not necessarily dealing with all the social issues connecting particularly or what's happening in the courtroom. But my thought is, if you're rich, you're a black man, and you're gay, what motivates you to do something like this or to make these allegations, in our culture? So that's kind of why we're going to watch this quick video. We're going to share some perspective. We're not going to dive too deep. It's a sensitive subject, so we still have to be very careful how we address this. We're going to move on to the next part, but at least we're going to look at the motivation. I would like to at least take a look at that and then move on from this point forward. All right, are you guys ready? What do we have here? James Matwell from Kentucky. Yeah. George.
Yeah, Michigan. George is in the house. Arizona, Kentucky. It's okay, Tess. We understand that you're just listening. We got New York in the house. Hi, Lenny.
NYC.
What did I miss? I feel like I missed one.
Just
awesome.
Be safe. Be
We're
safe.
in Pennsylvania.
Yes, we are. From Paris. Hey. Oh, yeah, that's my friend. You sent me some email.
Joe, yes.
You sent me an email the other day. Yeah, appreciate you. Très bien. Comment ça va? All right, let's move forward. Roque is with us as well. So, okay, let's get to the Jussie Smollett discussion right now. Okay, let's see if we can make sense of what motivated him to have to do this. This is the big
Tess
question.
Can't help herself. You better be driving safe, girl. Your husband isn't going to get on us because you getting a little fender bender.
Be safe.
Be safe.
All right.
Mississippi Gulf Coast. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Megan. Megan's in Arizona. There's someone else in Arizona with you. Tess. So you have a friend.
Good.
Mighty Michigan. Hi, Teresa.
Mighty Michigan.
Hi, Wesley from Texas.
That's great. Très bien, merci, et toi? Nous sommes très bien, grâce à Dieu. Merci pour toutes les attentions et also toutes les choses que tu nous as envoyées. All right, let me stop speaking French. Let's move forward with my broken French. All right, okay. Hello, Andrea and James, everyone. And yes, hi. Hi, Lenny, man.
Thank you, Tess, for clarifying that. I was worried. Sometimes I would do something at a stop sign or a red light, but I've even said no more of that. But yes, Tess is safe and sound.
That's right.
We won't be getting any phone calls from her husband. Your new husband.
Walking out of the door. Oh, you walking out of the door to start driving.
Alabama's in the house. James, that's who.
Got it. Hey, James, that's who is with us here. That's right. Great.
You think he was put up to this by Mike and Barry? Interesting perspective.
Great.
I think a lot of rich people are just so sad internally. And beyond race, finances, color, all these different things, I think they just don't have a good sense of self. But let's listen.
Yeah.
Let's get started.
All right, guys. Are you guys ready for this? Step number 1, the Jussie Smollett case. Let's talk about that.
No, John, that was not. Hold on, pause. John said, was that speaking in tongues? Well, if you... John, you're starting. He was speaking in French.
What was it? Sorry. Yeah, I was speaking to my friend from Paris here, Joe Linden. So he understands me. All right, let's move on.
Jussie Smollett went from being one of Hollywood's biggest stars to spending several months behind bars in one of the nation's most dangerous county jails. The Empire actor was sentenced yesterday for lying to police about a phony racist and homophobic hate crime attack he had planned himself. Correspondent Kelly Beeson joining us now live. Kelly, just 24 hours after that heated sentencing from the judge, Smollett is now in protective custody. He certainly is, Marnie, and it appeared yesterday at the sentencing hearing he was concerned about his safety behind bars, jumping up and yelling, "I'm not suicidal," and later his attorney explaining what Smollett was insinuating with that comment.
You will spend the first 150 days of your sentence in the Cook County Jail, and that will start today.
Immediately after Jussie Smollett was sentenced to 150 days behind bars, his reaction turning heads in the courtroom.
I'm not suicidal. I am not suicidal. I am innocent, and I am not suicidal.
Later in the lobby of the courthouse, his lawyer clarified what the actor meant during his emotional exit.
He was doing it for a specific reason because, let's be honest, you have the Epstein situation where he was found dead in his jail, even in protective custody. What Mr. Smollett was concerned about was, what if he turns up dead in protective custody? He doesn't want people to think he killed himself.
The Cook County Jail, where Smollett will serve his sentence, has publicly reported violent acts that have taken place there in the past. In 2018, more than 24 individuals in custody were charged with aggravated battery to staff. Some of those conflicts captured on camera. This video shows a man punching a correctional deputy. Another shows an inmate striking an officer multiple times.
I am not suicidal. I am not suicidal, and I am innocent. I could have said that I was guilty a long time ago.
After Smollett's sentence was read, the Cook County Sheriff's Office releasing a statement that reads in part, Mr. Smollett is not being held in solitary confinement. He's being housed in his own cell, which is monitored by security cameras and by an officer wearing a body-worn camera to ensure that Mr. Smollett is under direct observation at all times. As with all detained persons, Mr. Smollett is entitled to have substantial time out of his cell in the common areas. During such times, other detainees will not be present. These protocols are routinely used for individuals ordered into protective custody.
They will be very, 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 very careful with him and keep a close eye on him.
Now, in addition to his time behind bars, Smollett was also sentenced to 30 months of felony probation, ordered to pay more than $120,000 in restitution to the city of Chicago, and fined $25,000. Thanks for watching. Click the red.
It's one of those. This is a different. I don't know. I would say this is a strange case in our society. There's been.
People have been staging stuff for
People
a
have
long
been staging
time.
stuff for a long time. I know that.
Yeah.
But this one certainly.
It's so sad to see that someone would go to such great lengths. I mean, I know they filed an appeal and he's saying he's not guilty. And so I can't say that he is. But in the event people do this stuff and looking at the evidence that's been found, it's sad because you just wonder what would make a person go to such great lengths to stage something of that nature, knowing what the reactions of people would be. It's just sad.
I think that's the big question, guys. You know, what motivated him to do this? You know, like, could it be, like you said earlier, like having money is not enough?
No,
for a lot of
that's
people.
what people don't.
You know?
Yeah, and a lot of times people say you have it all, but you really don't have anything.
So there must be a level of emptiness there, you know, to seek, like, I have to go beyond that to get more attention or to feel either valued. It could go as far as, you know, just the trauma that a black person has gone through, you know, that it could go as far into.
Or gay. Because
Yeah,
he's also
just being
gay.
just being
I mean,
homosexual.
there was a lot. Go ahead.
No, you're right. I was thinking, like,
Yeah.
even that being homosexual and everything, being marginalized. I'm not, you know, I know not so much in this country as it, you know, as in other parts of the world. But I don't agree with, you know, anybody being used and abused physically, mentally, because of whatever decisions they make, you know. I mean, I'd agree with a gay person, but I do agree that he should have the freedom to be who he is without being, you know, oppressed. So I think both of that is being used, both being gay, being black. And I think having a social status as well, being in the place that he is, a musician, very successful. He had money. He had like $2.something million when he did this. So he wasn't like motivated by money. You know, like my thought was like, why did you do this? I think that's the big question that we have yet to find out. And again, that's part of the discussion, guys. So I'm not trying to act like I know, but some said there's maybe some mental status, maybe mental health issues. It possibly looks like he has something that he's wrestling with as well mentally. It's possible, but how do we determine that? We just don't know. So until then, I would rather stay silent because it's just so much is not being explained by this. But I think Jussie Smollett should be very grateful, though, because this could have been so much worse. You know what I'm saying? Like 150 days in prison, and paying for those, officers and their time and everything, and fine and everything. That's really like, because this could have been really so much bigger. This could have turned out to be another racial war. I could see more people in our streets, similar to what happened to George Floyd. More, destruction and more, bloodshed as a result of that. This could have really, really made matters worse. So I think, he's kind of like, this is the least he has gotten as far as time, and and he didn't even stay in prison that long because of the appeal process and so on. So I don't know, man. I'm still looking at this matter.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I just have, I'm looking at Joe, what Joe said. At that time, they were trying to start riots. It's political. He's close to some Democrats. So I appreciate that comment, because when you look at when people stage alleged, and this is an alleged case, I just want to be clear of that. But when people stage things of that nature, other people become emotionally attached to it who may have experienced something real in that situation. Okay. So if he's saying that they were beating me up because I was gay and because I'm black and because I'm rich, or whatever reasons that he had put forth throughout this thing, it's sad because other people are going to respond to it and other people are going to react to it. I think that's basically what you were saying there. And it just creates more hatred, more division. That's what ends up happening when we look at the bottom line. And I think that's what, Joe, you're expressing here. It was to start riots, political, create more division. Yeah, Tess, he's already out of jail.
Yeah, he is.
Being a victim is a currency of the left. James Maxwell, Mike and Barry, with their Trump derangement syndrome, talked him into it, promising to make sure he would not get into trouble. Then they were caught pulling the strings behind the scenes.
Wow.
It's an interesting take. There's so much to be said here, but the core of it, I think, is literally that here we go with someone who seemingly has everything, yet they're willing to go to such a debased and low state for whether it be fame, whether it be to support,
could be attention to
the left, whether it be to support whatever purpose, whatever reason it is.
Still not.
You have to look at the mindset of a person who is capable of carrying out such an act. Or who is capable of, and why would they want to be pushing this narrative? And so it's just sad. It's a sad state. It's the world we live in, unfortunately, where more of these things are happening and more of these things are coming out. So in different ways.
I mean, part of the sentence of the judge, he gave him a really nice speech, and one of the things that he was saying is like, I don't think you're motivated by money or greed. I think you did it for attention, because the world was trying to deal with social issues at that time. There was so much happening, so he kind of like took advantage of the situation and the timing and bring about a story such as that, and he has gotten so much attention. President Barack, I mean, his wife, Michelle Obama, so many people, like so many celebrities, Steve Harvey, all of them were writing and kind of sympathizing with him.
Exactly.
That's without knowing the whole story. What the perspective was, wow, there's no way he would be lying. He would cry on TV and everything. And to be like, it's like, how could anybody do that, with a straight face? And yet, but
knowing what can result from it.
Because
at the end of the day, the riots that come about afterwards are they're very atrocious. It's just riots. What it is, it's inciting anger, it's inciting hate, it's inciting, and it's bringing more pain because there's going to be more loss and more suffering. Some great comments here. He's an actor. It worked. Mary. I know. That was one of my thoughts too. Like, he's an actor. I think a lot of times when you're so caught up in being in a character role, you gotta wonder, when do these people get to come into into their own self? When do they get to, like, when does he get to be, what's his name, Jesse?
Jessie.
When does he get to be Jesse?
Yeah.
And then the other one is, Tess leaving the house now. I know, I saw you comment up there, and I thought, she better not be at a stop sign or a red light. She better be pulled over. I love what Teresa said. Where there is a desire for power, there's always a possibility. More fame, more power, more attention.
Yeah.
S. Rib said, can't help but think this is a political stunt to incite hate and further divide the public. He got the attention he wanted. This is Empty Nest Mom. I didn't know of him until after this. He has made himself a household name.
Yeah. But his name is now becoming somewhat of a verbiage, you know, like the Jussie Smollett is becoming a Smollett kind of thing whenever you fake something or hoax something, similar to what that guy did, the one who stole so much money, supposedly insurance guy.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, so it's kind of like doing something like that certainly has gotten him the attention, but I'm not sure if it's in a good way, you know. So
what's crazy is now you have felonies attached to your name. Felonies.
Yeah.
You know,
think about
you
your
don't
career.
think about
How are you going to build back your career now? I mean, Hollywood has a way of kind of like, you know,
using
work
that
past as a make them even
fuel.
more famous.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm like what somebody say. If you're famous and everything, you can get away with that. If I did something like that, y'all would be like, "Oh, James, please go sit down." Like, you just
it
want
would
some
just
attention.
be
Like you'll be overlooked, you know. But when you're
wouldn't keep
famous and you're
going,
rich and you're gay and you're black, there are certain things you do that gets the world's attention. So it's like, anyway.